I've seen you in action, and I know that when you interview people, you ask a huge amount of questions. And how did you come up with that?
Salespeople do the best sales job they've ever done in an interview. Like that's their best sale ever.
Right.
They will get you. I mean, and so I got taken a whole bunch of times by people who were such a great salesperson. They sold me and then they didn't sell anything else. What I've realized is that there are some competencies in some sales situations that are so important. So I started just writing down what I was doing and I was asking questions. And some of the questions would be, Gerhard, what time do you get up in the morning? And then tell me how you spend your first 90 minutes. I open my email, I look and see, I'm already done. I already know. Like you don't have anything better to do. Like you don't have any goals of your own that say, I'm going to get up and I'm going to exercise. I'm going to get something to eat. I'm going to journal. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to pray, whatever it is. Any answer is better than I get to my email. Because if you're the kind of person that gets up and works out, I have a sense that you're disciplined. And I ask people, how do you feel when someone says no to you when you ask them for a meeting? Yeah, I really don't like the rejection. Well, why do you think you were rejected? Well, they said no. No, they rejected the offer. They didn't reject you. Why do you take that personal? That's one. You have to call 50 other people today. Who cares? Like, what are you doing? So I want to hear how they think about these things so I know this. And now, Gerhard, the one that is a skill, and it's also related to what I would call curiosity. Let's just say curiosity is the thing. If you're not interested in business, you're never going to be a business advisor because you don't know anything about business. So I'm looking for that kind of thing too. But I have you've seen the competency model. Yeah. So you're looking at close to 50 things that you could explore. And you don't have to ask all the questions. So I have a lot of questions because I need a backup question or a couple. But once I know that you're not disciplined, then I know I'm probably not going to hire you.
What questions do you ask to find out about their mindset?
I ask them about how they think about a loss. So I want to know, when you won a deal, how did you win it? And I always ask that one first because they will take full credit for their win. And then you say, tell me about a deal that you lost and what you did that caused it. Well, it wasn't me. It was the other competitor. They undercut us. And then I'm like, I already know you don't believe that that was your responsibility. And now I already know how you think about losses. Like it wasn't me. No, it was you. It was your responsibility to create value for that person in excess of what your competitor might have done with a lower price. And if you don't believe that, then you can never get better.
You're writing a book about leading growth. And in my opinion, if you want to be, you make a decision, are you a growth leader or a growth follower? A growth leader discovers his or her own seeds of greatness. So how do you ask people about their capability to learn fast and grow beyond the average performer?
There's a number of questions that you want to ask in that particular regard. So if you asked a question like, what was the last book that you read and what did you put into action after you read that book? And is it working for you? So I want to ask that. So just, are they actually doing something? And if they say, yeah, the last book I read was Spin Selling, you're like, that was 1988. That's like, have you read anything else that's closer to this time? So I would ask that kind of question. Instead of saying, what are your goals? I ask the question like, what are you most passionate about outside of work? I want to know, like, what are you passionate about outside of work? If they say, I've got 3 kids, I want to send them all to private schools. And so I'm very, very focused on making sure that they get the education that they need. Great. Whatever their passion is, you just told me what motivates you. Okay, good. I need to know what that motivation is.
There are a lot of people that think that they're growing, and your core message is no. Unless you're disciplined, unless you read books, unless you're curious, unless you're coachable, and you want to grow, you ain't going to grow.
And so the book is basically, when I sign it, Gerhard, I write in the middle, like, lead, grow. I mean, if you don't grow, your team doesn't grow. If you don't lead, your team is going to have the same year over and over again. And this is one of the reasons I wrote it, is because so many people that I've had conversations with, they get stuck. They get stuck at a certain number,
Right.
and they can't get past it because they're not actually leading. They're letting people do what
Right.
they've always done, and they get the same result.
How do you celebrate success in your company?
A lot of people on my team like recognition more than anything. So one of the ways we celebrate it is we do something so everybody gets to hear about these successes, even the daily successes, like a one deal. I want people to celebrate those things because it's important. I'm happy for about 20 minutes. And then I know, like, well, if we did that, then there's still something else we could do. Like, if you
Right.
could do this, then we could do more. I try to be grateful and I try to recognize people and I celebrate these things. But then I know that I'm just going to go right back to my normal pattern. My pattern is what's next. If you have a growth mindset, it's natural for you.
Well, thank you, Anthony, for showing us on how to be a growth leader. I recommend everybody go to Amazon.com, get the book, and here's an extra tip. Buy the audiobook at the same time. And while you're reading the book, you hear Anthony's voice. It's a massive experience, a great learning experience. Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you. Good to see you, G.